Welcome everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. Nice to see you here. My name is Beatrice, and I work also with Lucia. So we work together on this Best Life second call. I will briefly introduce a few slides now, and then leave you with Lucia that will guide you through the main presentation. So the idea, well, first of all, thanks for attending today, and also for attending 2 weeks ago the UCN capacity building session. So in that moment, the first session was focusing on MEL aspects and very detailed information on the financial part, which I know it's the most also tricky one. The idea today is not to repeat the information again, because you have also the recording from UCN. So the idea is really to go more in depth regarding the application form. So what you will see online, or you are seeing online, and to give you some tips. Let me share my screen. Okay. I hope you can see it.
Yes.
We will record, and we will also share this PowerPoint presentation afterwards. So no worries. And of course, then if you have any questions or doubts, you can reach out to us. As you can see, we will follow the different section of the application form. Very briefly, just to introduce, well, first of all, congratulations for your pre-selection. We really hope, I mean, this is really the final step. After also a very detailed evaluation in order to pre-select the concept notes, we really hope we will be able to fund all the project proposals that are comprehensive and tackle all the aspects that are required. As a first reminder, for sure you will know. So the deadline is the 14th of November, and the portal will close at 2 p.m. Central European time. So be careful about that, because of course Canary Islands, Azores, and Madeira have different time zones. So please refer to that. After the submission, we expect to receive the result notification, so to send the result notification by April. This will also depend on the evaluation process, the evaluators finalizing all the documentation, and to have the final check from UCN and the Commission. And the expected contract signature would be in 1 month's time after the notification, so during May. What's now? So now it's the full proposal stage, as we commented before. It's really the time that you further develop and enhance your proposal during this final step. We really invite you also to review once again the guidelines for applicants, just not to lose any details. And if you have questions or doubts, feel free to reach out to us. And very, very important, I think it's this point. So try, please, to incorporate all recommendations from the notification letter into your full proposal. So you have received the letter with some comments, some suggestions from the evaluators, and those comments, I mean, they will check in the full proposal if these comments have been also incorporated in the full proposal stage. So this is a very important point. What's the procedure as the concept note? So through the BESTLIFE2030 portal, don't forget to complete all the sections, to attach all the documents, and to make a very detailed check before the submission, because it's also important to remind that once submitted, the proposal, the application cannot be longer modified. So this is very important, and don't leave it at the very, very last day, so the 14th. I mean, this is my recommendation. Very quickly, how to access, you will know it for sure, but if you need it, we will send this presentation. I think it's easy to have the direct link. So it's the portal from UCN calls. You can register. You will receive a notification by email, and then you will be able to log in as many times as you want using your credential. To find the call.
Small interruption, Bea. The portal now, we can say it's open for everyone. Okay, now they have told us that it's open for everyone, and it's exactly the same portal you use for the first phase. Okay, sorry for the interruption, Bea.
No, super, thanks. So you will go to this section calls. Please apply. So of course, select the corresponding one. It's this one, BESTLIFE2030 second call for proposals, and you will need to click on apply. And once you have applied, you will be shown a sort of declaration. So please confirm, don't forget to confirm the terms of this declaration by clicking agree. And by doing that, you will have access to the full proposal submission interface, which, I mean, you are already familiar with that as in the previous concept note phase. If you need to come back to the application that you have previously started, we also leave here the direct link of the dashboard. So if you want to save it, bookmark it in your browser for easier access, you can do it. You will have 5 sections, and Lucia will guide you through this section today. Well, the budget, you have seen it 2 weeks ago with UCN. And just to finalize from my side, really try to really adapt a very direct and clear and concise style. You will see that each paragraph has a limit of characters, so it's really good that you are very precise, very direct and concrete, using concrete and precise information and numbers, figures, or examples. Try to avoid repeating yourself. Of course, complete all the sections of the form. This is a key. Do a final check before the submission, and also you can complement some kind of course, since we have the character limits, you can complement some information with the attachment. So the annexes, you can attach, for instance, diagrams or graphs, previous studies, and maps, the maps for the on-site pilots, for instance, or if you have some sort of information on the regulation or some regulations already in place, approved, so you can complement the information and make it very very concrete. So this will also help evaluators in understanding your proposal. So that's it from my side. I will leave it to Lucia from now on. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So can you go to the next slide, Bea? Okay, so I'm going to, as Beatrice said, we leave the financial part for today because it was very, very detailed in the webinar that was carried out by IUCN, and the recording was sent and the presentations were sent too from that webinar. And if someone missed the downloading, because I know they send it through WeTransfer, and the download had to be made in a few days. If you don't have it, just let us know. But we are going to go a bit deeper in the different sections of the platform. So in the narrative module of the platform, you will see 3 sections, similar to the ones completed in the concept note phase. But during this phase, you need to provide more details. So in the lead partner section, you need to fill in details about the lead partner, including contact information, key project staff, the authorized signatory for the grant agreement, everything that is crucial for the grant agreement signature and project success. So there's also a section for other partner information if you have co-applicants. So the other partner information must only be filled in if you have co-applicants in your project and your proposal. If not, this does not have to be filled in. And of course, we have the project overview that outlines the project title, duration, calculation of the project funds depending on your table filled in, clarification of co-funding sources, region, country, etc. Bea, can you go to the next one? Now we're going deeper into the project description. So let's break it down the section step by step. First up, we've got the identification of stakeholders and beneficiaries. It's crucial to bring everyone on board and make sure they understand their roles and why they're important to the project. So this section, I know sometimes you think that by listing a list of stakeholders is enough, but in this case, we really encourage the letters of support of the stakeholders that you are identifying. Okay, this is something that it's a criteria very important for this call and for the evaluators that are going to evaluate your project, because if there's no letter of support, we don't know if the agreement has been made between the stakeholders and you. So please bear in mind the letters of support are very important, and we know that it's an administrative burden for many entities, because maybe, I don't know, a project has the support from the government of Canary Islands, but it's only an oral support, but you need to get the paper signed. So begin with this as early as possible, because I know how this works, and I know that a small signature can take a lot of time. So please bear in mind this. Then next, we have the rationale for conservation concerned within the socioeconomic context. This is where you explain what is so vital to address conservation issues within the socioeconomic context you have. Remember that IUCN has some great resources like Panorama Solutions. The links of the things that I'm going to talk about are all gathered in one slide at the end of the presentation, okay? So don't worry about looking for that. We have a single slide where you have all this information. Then we move on to the details on target species and habitats. Here you need to get specific about which species and habitats you're focusing on in your project. Be very specific. And of course, if you are in a red list or anything like that, please mention it. After that, it's time to create a detailed project timeline. You've got a template on the project website to help you organize everything and keep on track. It's already available. I checked. And it's already available in the applicant section of the portal. It's a Gantt graphic, and you'll need that to be specific in the timeline of your project. Of course, you also need to define an overall objective. What's the big goal you're aiming to achieve within your project? Then we have also regional relevance. You need to consider the bigger picture and how your project fits into the ecosystem profiles of your region. I don't know if you know it, but we already mentioned it in the concept note phase. We have Macaronesia regional ecosystem profile, and the link to that document is also in the slide I talked about before. And it's essential, very essential, to link your project to this document, okay? Because in this document you have all the needs and possible solutions and issues that the region has, and it's a very important document to link to your project. They have added now a new section that wasn't there last year, which is the inclusive engagement and equity section, where you need to identify what measures are taken to involve vulnerable populations, to promote equal opportunities, etc., etc. Then, of course, you need to outline your approach and activities, who's doing what, and how are we going to get it done. Of course, you need also to think about assumptions and risks. What are the potential challenges we might face, and how can we mitigate them? And finally, there's also essential to have an exit strategy for sustaining project results. So you need to make sure that your efforts have a lasting impact even after the project is finalized. And last but not least, you've got to have a solid communication plan. You need to make sure you're spreading the word effectively about your project and your results. So keep these elements in mind as you work on crafting your project description. I know sometimes the exit strategy might be a bit difficult to understand. So it refers to a planned approach or set of actions designed to facilitate the smooth and effective conclusion or transition of a project or program. So in this case, an exit strategy would involve outlining how the project funded by BESTLIFE will be concluded or transitioned once its objectives have been achieved or the finance has been finalized. So key components of an exit strategy may include identifying how project activities will be handed over to relevant stakeholders, or ensuring that the project's impact and outcomes can be sustained beyond the end of the funding period. Also important, having a capacity building in your project, building the capacity of local partners or beneficiaries to continue your project activities. Of course, make an analysis of evaluations and lessons learned, or closure procedures, such as outlining the administrative and financial procedures for closing your project, including reporting requirements, etc., etc. Okay, then we also have, I'm going to talk about key aspects of a contingency plan that may include risk identification, identifying potential risk and uncertainties that could affect the project's timeline, budget, or success. Resource reallocation. There's also the opportunity of reallocating some resources with, of course, some limits. And of course, communication protocols, establishing clear communication channels and protocols for informing stakeholders about changes in plan due to unforeseen circumstances. And the main thing here, monitoring and evaluation. It's very important to regularly monitor your project progress and evaluate the effectiveness of contingency measures to adjust your strategies as needed. Bea, can you go to the next one? Okay, just before I end this, we are going to get deeper into the logical framework and monitoring plan in the next slides, okay? So that we clearly understand how you create your whole project body, okay? But this is a small summary of what the communication section is all about. So, right, let's talk about communication within the project description section. So the communication plan is a crucial part of your project description. You can, if it's as said in the slide, if it suits you better and it's quite recommended, you can upload a separate file like a PDF or a PowerPoint as your communication plan. You can mention it in your description and then upload an attachment and at the end of the submission. So when putting together your communication plan, make sure you're answering some of these key questions. Firstly, what's the project all about and what are we ultimately trying to achieve? These are our ultimate goals and it's essential to convey them clearly. Next, what are our communication objectives? What do we hope to accomplish through our communication efforts? Then you must consider your key messages. What are the main points you want to get across to your audience? Who exactly are we trying to reach with our communications? Your target audiences. It's important to understand who they are to have an effective communication. What communications channels will you use to reach your audience? Social media, newsletters, what kind of social media? Instagram, LinkedIn, or whatsoever. How often will you communicate on each channel? Consistency is key here, so it's important to establish a schedule. What about your visual identity? How will you present yourself with visually? How will you present yourself visually, your project, to ensure consistency and recognition, of course? And of course, do not forget about the budget. What resources do you have available for communication efforts? And finally, what are your key performance indicators? How will you measure the success of your communication plan? All these questions are important that you keep them in mind because they will help you develop a robust communication plan. that effectively supports your project objective, actually. Bea, can you go to the...
Yeah, if I can add something regarding the visual identity, maybe if it's too early for you to, of course, to develop it at this stage, but I think it's important that you maybe include some mention, you know, what could be the main criteria for the development of the visual identity. And I would also recommend you to mention in that plan that you will follow also the rules, the specific rules on visual communication and to communicate the funding from BESTLIFE and the European Union. Because if your project is granted, you will receive a sort of kit with the logos and so on that you will need to use on promotional materials, on social media as well, on if you organize an event to showcase the funding. So this could be something that you can mention in the plan.
Thank you, Bea. Can we go to the slide 2.1 logical framework with the different colors there? Yeah. So all projects funded by BESTLIFE are required to include a logical framework, which is submitted during the full proposal stage. This framework outlines the project's overarching objective. There's someone that wanted to join. This framework outlines the project's overarching objective, purpose, intended outcomes, and planned activities. It also specifies the indicators that will be used to track the project's progress, both the purpose and outcome levels. Additionally, milestones related to the implementation of proposed activities are identified at this stage. So the logical framework serves as the foundation. It's like the skeleton for monitoring your project performance through its execution and for evaluating its impact upon finalization of your project. So applicants are expected to incorporate relevant best indicators in their monitoring plan, and so that they facilitate the assessment of BESTLIFE's 2030's program impact at regional and global levels. So in project management, I don't know if you know it, but a logical framework is a structured tool used to design, monitor, and evaluate projects. So it provides a very structured and systematic way to present the key information about your project, objectives, activities. Log frames are commonly used in development projects, including the ones funded by this program. We are going to go deeply in the logical framework in the next steps. So, but as you see in the slide, you have specific objectives, results, and the activities, and everything is going to be linked. Okay, Bea, you can go to the next one, the one with the tree. Okay, so again, it's in summary, a logical framework. It's the methodological tool allowing the analysis of a situation and visualization of what is happening, why it happens, how it is expressed, and the links between each phenomenon. Now, I am going to you can go to the next one, Bea, with the big image of the rats. Now we are going to take one case of an invented project, and we are going to together build our logical framework. So here we have a main, in this project, imaginary project, okay? So we have a problem it identified, which is as you can see in the middle with the palm trees, the endemic, what is the problem identified? The endemic bird extinction risk on island. And what are the causes? We have cause number 1 on the top, rat predation. Cause number 2, it is caused by a proliferation of rat population, caused also by cause number 3, a lack of control of rat population and lack of control over the transfer. So this is what we have, first of all, identified. Next slide, Bea. So what are the specific objectives of our project? So the three causes of go back again, Bea. So cause number 1 are the ones in the first column: rat predation, bird breeding disturbance, and poaching. These are causes number 1. Then we have causes number 2: proliferation of rat population, risky behavior of visitors, and lack of controls. And cause number 3, the ones in yellow. Okay, again, go forward. So our specific objectives are actually our causes number 1 reformulated. Okay, so rat predation becomes suppress predation by rats. Bird breeding disturbance becomes reduced disturbance of birds during breeding. And poaching becomes restrain unauthorized bird hunting. So once we have our level 1 causes, we reformulate them by turning them into specific objectives, preferably using the infinitive form. So now we have the causes number 1 identified, and they become specific objectives. Next one, Bea. What are the expected results of our project? So the 3 causes 2 become the expected results. So proliferation of rat population, which is one of the causes, becomes the rats have been permanently disappeared from the island. The risky behavior of visitors becomes visit to the island, do not impact the birds. And lack of controls becomes the result number 3, effective control measures implemented to halt poaching. So we reformulate the level 2 causes related to our project by turning them into expected results, as if they had already been achieved. So identified causes number 2, and you make them results as if they already been achieved. Next slide there. So what activities will be put in place to achieve the results? Again, we reformulate the 5 causes number 3 we had into activities. So the lack of control of rat population becomes implementation of an eradication campaign, which is A111. Second cause number 3, lack of control over the transfer of merchandises to the island. So we have an activity that would be establishment of a phytosanitary control unit and the embarkation quay towards the island. Then the lack of amenities for nesting site protection becomes installation of wooden barriers around nesting sites, etc., etc. So you reformulate the level 3 causes related to the project by turning them into activities. What, where, how, when, and by whom. So if you keep this in mind and you make your puzzle and you make your 3 level causes, causes level 1, causes level 2, and causes level 3. Causes level 1, you make them into specific objectives. Causes 2 into specific results, and the 3 into activities. You will have your logical framework built on. You can go to the next one, Bea.
Yeah, if I can add, I think this level is very important, as Lucia was saying, because it really helps you proposing concrete actions. So action really what the guidelines for applicant calls tangible and on the ground actions. This is what the evaluators want to see, not like a generic research or tasks. And especially if you have received this sort of comment in the concept note, to try to reformulate a bit the activities and make them more tangible and concrete, do check this this suggestion from the evaluators, but because they will like to see then very specific activities as the ones here in the example by Lucia.
Yeah, exactly. And we are not saying this like freely. We saw projects that went down last year because their activities weren't enough tangible. Okay, so bear in mind these aspects. So everything that I've said in the last 3 slides is transformed here into the platform. So in the manner in which the project and its intervention logger are described into the portal are like, as you see, specific objective number 1, SO1, suppress predation by rats. This is linked to a result that would be the rats have been permanently disappeared from the island. And how do we achieve these results? By implementing some activities such as A11 implementation of an eradication campaign, A112 establishment of phytosanitary control unit at the embarkation towards the island. Same for specific objective number 2, that would be reduce disturbance of birds during breeding. That has a result linked, which is the one that you want to achieve. This visit to the island do not impact the birds. And how do we achieve these results? By making concrete actions such as installation of wooden barriers around nesting areas, or production and distribution of documentary for the passenger's boat, for example. So that everything we said in the last 3 slides is gathered here in the platform structure. You can go to the next one, Bea. So, of course, importance of planning and budget verification for your project implementation as needed. And how do we know and show that our results have been achieved? So, the rats have been permanently disappeared from the island. Let's take the rat-free image. So to know if this result has been achieved, we can check that the rat number is equal to 0. And to perform these checks, how can we do that? Carry out a counting campaign X months after eradication. This line is linked to the monitoring plan. So we have a first logical framework where we have the specific objective, activities and results, but of course we have to monitor our activities and our results with different indicators and monitoring activities, etc. So, second example, for example, visit to the island to not impact the birds. How to know that the result has been achieved? We can check that at least 3/4 of visitors know good practices on bird protection. And how we perform these checks? We can conduct a survey for the visitors that go to the island. And for the example number 3, we have effective control measures implemented to halve poaching. How to know that this result has been achieved? The nests are not trampled. And to perform this check, how can we do it? Make several visits to the nests. How can we put this into a monitoring plan? Bea, next slide. So the monitoring plan outline, as you can see, provides a structured framework for tracking and assessing the performance and impacts of projects within this program. So by implementing the monitoring plan, the project team can effectively track progress, assess the performance, and make informed decisions to optimize your project outcomes, and of course contribute to the overall objectives on the BESTLIFE program. So the indicators, as you can see, it is linked to the previous logical framework. You must select and detail at least 1 indicator per specific objectives. The frequency, so it's filled in automatically. This means you will need to update the progress ahead of each reporting period. For example, you have an indicator which is number of visits to the nest. Frequency, at the beginning you'll have 1 visit, but you will need to update this figure while you report back to the program, if you get granted, of course. In the baseline, you insert the baseline value if you know it. If not, you tick the not applicable box. So the baseline of your indicators, if you already know, for example, how many rats have been trampled, and you have already data and you have 1,000, then that's 1,000. And if you don't know it, you just put not applicable. And your target is the target regarding, of course, your indicator. So once selected for funding, you will need to provide baseline values for certain indicators as applicable. Next one, Bea. To select indicators, so there's a list of indicators that we will see in the next slide, but this is how to choose them. So to make your selection, follow the sequence shown here. So click Add Indicator button, then remain in the Select Indicator section, then check as many boxes as you need, and when done, click the Select button. But at least one per specific objective, okay? So in the next slide, Bea, again, here you have the full list of indicators, and very important, as you can see, you have biodiversity indicators and outreach indicators, employment indicators, etc., etc. But it's very important that you must note that at least one biodiversity indicator is mandatory in your project. Okay, so at least one of the red ones here is completely mandatory. Also, we will see that in the next slide. You are also able to create your own indicators. You must select at least one from the biodiversity here, from the BESTLIFE indicators, but you will also be able to create your own indicator. So, Bea, you can go to the next slide.
Yeah, I would just add, if you see here, of course, the biodiversity is fundamental, so one, it's mandatory. If you see, for instance, outreach, I would maybe also, if it's applicable, of course, regarding your activities, I would also select something, or at least propose a customized indicator on outreach, because it's also, outreach is also key. A key part. Sometimes we do focus a lot on technical aspects, which are of course fundamental, but then we leave out the promotional and communication part, which is also important, because also the Commission has interest in having an impact at local and regional hub level, and also these can be, check consistency. If you propose something on outreach, include also this in the communication plan that was presented before by Lucia. And another point, maybe suggestion, Lucia was telling you about letters of support. In the case, maybe you select this, I don't know, number of a strategy, a protocol or a strategy that is amended. This is something that concerns for sure the local or regional government or a certain authority. So it really makes your proposal strong if we have a supporting letter attached to the proposal saying, okay, we agree on amending, on working with the applicant in order to amend this specific protocol, considering the results of the project. And this is really something very tangible and can be very positively evaluated, because we can measure also the potential impact. So that was just
no, and I completely agree on the outreach. Also, if you make workshops, because raising awareness is also a very important aspect of this program, raising awareness and capacity building, and these outreach indicators are very good for that. So how many people has been trained, how many people attended your workshop, etc., etc. So I completely agree with you, Bea. So let's go to how to create your own indicator. So if you wish to create a new indicator, so if your target habitat is not already listed, you can follow the sequence below. So you click on the Add Indicator button, go to the Add Custom Indicator section. So and where you will see 4 fields. The code is pre-filled, so it stays as it is. The description, so follow the same structure as the pre-filled indicators. Start with the type of indicator, then add specifics such as biodiversity, area of habitat where loss of biodiversity is being halted and reversed. The frequency, again, choose reporting period. And the data type, choose numeric or text, or yes, no as appropriate. When done, you click to add the button, and that's it. Next one, Bea, project timeline. So as stated before, there is a template provided by the program where you can attach to your proposal at the end, but very important that you fill in the project timeline within the platform too. So in this section, you simply need to check the boxes corresponding to the periods during which your activities will be implemented. Note that there are more detailed timeline is requested in the narrative. So that's why we recommend to attach a document where you have all the details. And it's not yearly, but monthly maybe. That would be the best idea. Next one, safeguards. Let's go directly to the two blue text here. So applicants are required to complete an SMEs questionnaire to assess environmental and social risks. This serves as a tool for the Regional Advisory Committee to evaluate the project proposal, focusing on risk identification and propose solutions to mitigate environmental and social impacts. But again, specific instructions will be provided as appropriate based on the outcome of your questionnaire. And if no SME standard was triggered, simply write not applicable in the portal section. Okay, but this will be evaluated once all the proposals would be selected. Bea, we can go to submission. So to the one with the screenshot again. So at the end, as you can see, it's marked in the checklist and submission. So you can upload as many documents as you want. You can use this section to upload any additional documents you may wish to include, such as we talked about it, letters of support, again, very, very important. Communication plan, we also recommend to attach it as an attachment. And then once you finish to upload, and any one by one, so upload document, then if it's uploaded, submit button, and you will receive an automatic email notification confirming your submission. If it's not the case, please let us know right away. And of course, to avoid technical issues and potential complications, not wait until the last day. But if there is something happening in the last day, if you have issues while uploading documents, if the platform has issues because the server is overloaded, please, not in the last minute, but before that, send the full proposal. You have the indications on the guidelines, on the application guidelines. But I say it here again. You can send the whole document by email if the platform doesn't work and before the deadline, okay? Because we had this happened in the last call. Some applicants were not, the platform was having issues. They weren't working well in the platform, but they sent the email with the proposal after the deadline. And their application was not accepted. So please do not wait until the last day to upload things. And if within the days before the application submission you are having problems with the platform, be aware that we can receive the application offline, but if the platform is not working and if you send it before the deadline. Once submitted, of course, your application cannot longer be modified. And here, next, I've created a slide that you can check, the next one with a summary of pieces to include in your full proposal phase. Again, I know we are being a bit repetitive, but because we have already experienced some stuff before, so that's why some things are quite repetitive, but it's like the way that it can be in your brain. So within the platform, you will need, again, the detailed project description with the methodology used, indicative timeline, milestones, partnerships, expected results, communication. Then you have the whole logical framework and monitoring plan, and of course the detailed project budget. Important, forecast budget for the first project period, because it'll be your advance payment. Okay, so the budget corresponding to the first reporting period would be the one that will be advanced while you sign the grant agreement. And again, documents to attach, CVs of the persons involved in the project if you have. A project map is strongly recommended. Regulatory authorizations required for project implementation if they are already available. If not, again, the letters of support of the project partners or stakeholders, and supporting documents for cost if you have them, and contracts, payslip, and job descriptions related to the project if relevant. We can go to the slide number 32.
I would also attach, if you have it, because I know that some organizations, well, of course, the communication plan, I think we forgot to include, we will add it. Some institutions have sometimes mandatorily or voluntarily, like gender equality or gender and diversity equality plans. This is something that maybe can also fall in the new section that Lucia mentioned, equity and inclusive aspects of your project. So if you have it, I think it's something nice to showcase as well to the evaluators.
Perfect. So slide 32 with the grid, evaluation grid, it's also available in the guideline for applicants, and it's very, very highly recommended that you take a look at the grid before implementing your project. So similarly to the concept note phase, your proposal will be evaluated by the same two experts who will use a scoring grid consisting of 14 questions available in the guidelines for applicants. Maximum score 100 and the threshold 65. The score now begins at 0. So the score that you got in the concept note phase has nothing to do with the score that you are going to have here. So it's not that if you got 38 in the concept note, you will have priority over someone that got a 30. We begin at 0, equal opportunities to with everyone, and here the threshold would be 65 over 100. So make sure, of course, you address all comments received after the concept note phase. We took very long time to detail you everything that was said by the evaluators. The grids were also shared with you, so please take into account every comment from the evaluators. Okay, it's very, very important, very, very important. 2 slides forward, Bea. So resources, here you have the slide I talked to you about, where you have all the resources you need to build your project and the different sections, such as the regional relevance, etc., etc. So here you have the link to the Macaronesian regional ecosystem profile, which is very, very important. EU Biodiversity Strategy 2030, that would be also important to link to your project. You have also the link to the LIFE project database, where you will find similar projects or projects on your topic. And also, you have also the link here to the projects previously funded under the BEST initiative. And as I talked about at the beginning, you also have the link to the Panorama Solutions web by IUCN. So this slide is important for you so that you have the direct links to the main documents that you need to link to your proposal. And to finish, we have created, and I think that it was a good idea, to create a sort of tips for the different sections, tips that will help you to for the narrative part and to how to respond to the different section. Here you have general tips. So the key element for new BESTLIFE proposals is to ensure that the project put forward specific conservation actions with measurable conservation impacts, plan a robust communication plan, and of course, foresee communication activities within your work plan. Plan for replication and scalability, that would be within your exit strategy. Provide comprehensive risk analysis, identify pertinent stakeholders, And again, we recommend attaching letters of support, especially if your application is linked with regional agencies or authorities that will be willing to uptake results, strategies, or policies stemming from your project. And finally, again, analyze the comments made during the evaluation of your concept note. You will find very useful tips to improve your proposal. So these are general tips, but we have created, next slide, Bea, so tip for section regional relevance. So we have created some tips here. In regional relevance, position the project as much as possible within a European, national, and/or regional framework. Look for the policies and strategic documents to which your project contributes. This demonstrates why your project is worth funding. Do not simply list them, but demonstrate how the project will contribute to their implementation. So, for example, the project responds to the objectives and priorities of the EU Biodiversity Strategy 2030. The project implements and improves these policies, etc., etc. The project helps implement other European policies. For example, the EU Biodiversity Strategy for 2030, protection of natural areas, 30% of land and seas by 2030, biodiversity restoration. You have many lines within these strategies that would be fit for your project. Again, important, link your project to the Macaronesian regional ecosystem profile. Next one, Bea.
Yeah, I would really recommend maybe in this section, for instance, you can introduce at a general level, like EU level, referring very specific to the biodiversity strategy or any kind of European or international, national even policy framework, and then link also going into more details on how the project has impacts on the Macaronesian side. This document is very important because in the previous it was Life for Best. If maybe someone remembers, the program was called a bit differently. These studies were carried out within the end of the previous program, and it's very important for the Commission itself and also for UCN, of course, and the partners involved to have a link with this big activity, this big study that has been performed. It's also very useful insights for you, I believe.
Thank you, Bea. So we go to the tips for the section project rationale. So show the complementarity of your project. Explain how your project is complementary to actions or projects carried out at regional, national, and/or international level. So show here that your project is not redundant with actions already carried out, but rather how the combination of the different actions have a positive and multiplier effect and is relevant to identify other projects and initiatives. Refer to previous projects on which you build and explain how your project relies on the result of these projects. And these do not necessarily have to be projects that yourself have led, but you have the resources again with the live project database or projects previously funded under the BEST initiative. Next one, Bea.
If it's an ongoing project yet, maybe you can even envision some kind of dissemination or communication activity jointly. Maybe this could be also an idea. And my recommendation is that not just listing, okay, I have this, I will refer to this and that project, but really try to check on the website what they are doing and be specific. From this project, I can build on their methodology to conduct this specific technical activity on the field. So I will refer to that, and this will inspire my methodology, for instance, or something very, very specific, that proves that you have checked the work of this previous project that you are mentioning.
Of course, this, like Bea said, this is a tip. It's not mandatory to just make the check and just mention a project that just because you saw the title, okay? Of course, it's a tip. It's not a mandatory thing to mention previous projects, but we highly recommend it. And of course, a detailed connection, not something like the title is similar, so let's put the title of another project in our proposal, okay? Next one, section exit strategy, Bea. So, again, ensure the sustainability of project results. So a sustainable project is one that has a long-term impact with the key actions continuing beyond the grant period. We know that the grant is 100,000 euros, it's not 5 million. So in the majority of the cases, you will only be able to begin with the main objective of your project within a 2-year project. But also, this is also important, and we haven't mentioned it during this webinar, but IUCN is eager to invite you to present in the next calls the continuation of the project that you are presenting now. Okay, it is a baseline established that the idea is that in the next calls of this same program, so in the 3rd and 4th call of the BESTLIFE 2030, we will invite you to make the part B or the continuation of the project that you are presenting now. That's why the exit strategy is so important, and the sustainability of the project results. Okay, so a sustainable project is one that has a long-term impact with key actions continuing beyond the grant period. So how will your project impact be maintained over time? Through which actions carried out during the project, and with which actors? Which actions will need to be continued? How will they be pursued, and with what resources? So examples of actions carried out during the project: staff training, installation of on-site information panels, legal or contractual protection of a natural area. That would be actions that ensure the sustainability of your project. Okay. Next one, Bea. Again, I know I'm very repetitive, but for us it was important that it was in the tips. So include IUCN tools in the section regional relevance and alignment with policies. So refer to the regional ecosystem profile. I'm not going to be a lot on this slide because we have talked about it a lot. So review the current state of biodiversity, habitats, and the threats affecting them. Review the socioeconomic and political context and analysis of conservation activities. Identify the key biodiversity areas of your region, and as a complement, you can build your project on good practices listed on the Panorama platform, which aims to document and promote inspiring and replicable examples of solutions on a wide range of conservation topics, such as thematic portals, or learn how others have addressed the same problems around the world, etc., etc. Next one, Bea, section inclusive engagement and equity. So to finalize, we have some tips regarding the section on inclusive engagement and equity. So an inclusive project is one that ensures equal participation and equitable access to benefits for relevant groups, especially the ones that are underrepresented. So how will I have created here some questions that you can answer while you are making the narrative of your project. So how will your project involve women, youth, persons with disabilities, indigenous peoples? Or which strategies and activities will you use to encourage their participation? How will your project promote gender equality? What measures will you take to respect and protect human rights? Guarantees of inclusiveness will include specific outreach activities to involve vulnerable groups, dedicated activities designed with and for target populations, mechanisms to ensure voices of minorities are heard and are considered in the decision making, and of course monitor indicators to track inclusivity and results. I have put here some examples of actions that could be carried out during your project, such as women and youth leadership training, creation of accessible communication materials, participatory workshops with indigenous communities or other minorities, inclusion of disability-friendly project infrastructure, etc., etc., etc. So, final slide.
If I can add something, also maybe you can also mention. I'm reflecting right now. Also, a fair balance on all the stakeholders involved. For instance, if you are organizing a training, for instance, as Lucia was saying, or an event, a final event, and so on, to try to get a gender balance, or to have also specific communication actions targeting specific groups, like also youth. If you are talking about youth, is something interesting that we know also from previous projects that have done in schools. So awareness raising campaign in schools, or I don't know, with the youth in more remote places. This is something that could be also in line with your proposals. So really try to think about this point, because it's a new section, and it's also connected with a specific evaluation criteria, which has a 5 point. So I think this is important to to remember.
And that's it. We wanted to go through the whole skeleton of the technical part of the proposals, and of course now we are completely open if you have any question.
And feel free to write to us as well if any doubts come out during October and early November.
The ESMEs, don't worry, Rui. It's in the platform. Okay, you will. It's a questionnaire. It is in one of the section of the platform. Bea, can you put again the slide number? Slide number 7.
Yeah. 7.
No.
1 second.
See, so Rui, it's something that it's asked within the platform. Okay, you will have to answer some questions such as, is your project going to attack or invade an indigenous territory? Yes or no? If yes, why? You know, so it's in a third part, safeguards. Okay, it's a small questionnaire. You'll have to fill it in, and if you answer something like, yes, we are going to invade some indigenous territories, you have to justify it, and maybe that gets evaluated as something bad for your project, but it's within the platform. You actually already answered one within the concept note phase, I think, a smaller one, but I'm not sure. Is your question answered, Rui? But the same thing. It's kind of the same thing, Rui. Yes, in the concept note you filled one, so it's kind of the same thing. Isabel?
Hi, thanks for your presentation. I have a few questions. One of them concerns the document that is available for the frequently asked questions. Even though it does say that it will be updated every 2 weeks, the one that I saw this morning is from February. So I think maybe you can pressure someone to update it, please.
We already did, but it's not in. We are not managing the platform, but we already mentioned that this document was outdated.
Outdated. Okay, and the other one, I know that I've already asked you this, Lucia, by email for the previous call. You know how on the platform, if you put your mouse over a topic, then it shows you a little bit of information?
I know what you mean.
Okay, so you know what I mean exactly. So it's very hard when you're working as a team that we cannot not all be connected to the platform. So it would be really, 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 really helpful if that information about each topic or each item on the platform can be made available as a text file, as a PDF, something else other than you have to be on the platform with the mouse on top of the the topic so you can see how to fill out that field, that section. So please use all of your power to make this.
Isabel, I promise you, and Bea is, how do you say, un testigo, that
Okay.
I asked for it in the steering committee with the whole partners of IUCN. I said, please make this available, and they told me it's something from the platform we cannot. And even I asked, even if you don't put it in the platform, can it be available when you print the PDF?
Yes,
And
because
they
they
told me
do.
that it was not possible.
Well, I have to disagree with that. Of course, it is possible if they want
Me
to.
too.
They have the text available. I asked for that in the meeting earlier this month, and they also
I
told me
saw
it's
that.
not
I was
possible.
there. I was there.
Okay, and then I do have some very specific questions concerning the finance part. I don't know if I should present them here or if it's best if I email you.
What is it about?
The finance, the money part.
Better email,
Okay.
and so that I can direct the questions by email with the finance team together. Thank you, Isabel. I know, and I completely agree with you. I think that this button where you have to put the mouse on top of it, it's crazy. But I think that they are working. It's the second call. They are working on the platform and trying to make some changes. But this one, I did it in public and in front of every representative, but it didn't go through very well. Let's hope for the third call it's changed. I'm sorry for that, Isabel.
Okay. Just one more question.
Yeah.
You talked about how this project if it gets funded, then you encourage for the third call that we apply for a continuation of this project. My question is it true that there will be no funding for the big life grants? Because there's people talking about it that has not been included for the next budget for the European community to fund the big life grants. Do you guys know anything about this?
No. It's not relevant to the program because this program finances. It's like a sort of cascade funding. So it gets funding from the Commission, from Life to found intern smaller grants. So no.
And the budget for the third and fourth call is already available. So it's something that it was already decided. So it's not that now they are going to cut the budget for the third call. Actually, we didn't even spend the whole budget for the first call. So don't worry about that. There will be third and fourth call.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Before Ana Liria, 1 second. Sorry for making you wait, but Rui continued with a question on the ESMEs, but now it just appears a single box to fill with a maximum of 5,000 characters, saying to fill in accordance to the guidance of the regional hub and asking for a document to upload. I don't know if it's supposed to look like that or not. Send us a screenshot, and if you didn't receive any specific indication on how to solve the if you didn't have any specific indication regarding your concept no ESMEs questionnaire, you normally shouldn't have to upload anything there. Okay, you can send me a screenshot of, because I don't have the same view of as you have of the portal. So Rui, do not hesitate to send me a screenshot. But if you didn't receive any indication on the ESMEs questionnaire, you don't have to upload anything there. Okay, Lea, I know you wrote on the chat, but Ana Liria was before, so go for it, Ana Liria. Ana Liria?
Okay. Sorry. I was stopped.
Don't worry.
I have only to see if it's possible, because we have one of the stakeholders that we insert in the concept note. Now it's very interesting to be partner of the project. Is possible or not?
That's a good question. I would say yes, because I don't think there's limitation on that, but you should know that there is a limitation on your budget modification.
Okay. Yes, I know. We are going only to see, because it's the university, and for us it's interesting for the project, the oceanographic part of to see the movement of the animals and the distribution is only for one part. It's not all the project, but there is a small part perhaps could be in the budget also.
Would it be Eco Aqua or something like that? One of these departments?
In the university, no, the physical oceanographic department.
Okay, perfect. Send me an email. Sorry,
if it's a very small activity that maybe they don't want to be partner, I would also maybe think about, I don't know how they work internally, but like contratación, so like other goods and services, or if they do something very technical and very key for the project, then I would say subcontractor, but maybe send us an email to double check.
Okay, we have a meeting this
Also,
week, and after I can send you an email, or we can make a call, or and take a look on it.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Lea, I'm very surprised on your question, because yes, you should have received that months ago. What is your entity? Yes. So your project is technical basis for the ecological restoration plan for the thermophilic woodland in Tenerife? You should have received. So how do you know that your project passed? So we sent the notification letter in the same email where you got your approval of your project. That is weird. Maybe Ivana forgot to. So that was sent to. Sorry, that was sent. Yeah, Lea de Nascimento. That's you, right? Okay, because it's Ivana from IUCN who sent the notification letters to the partners. So maybe she sent the email and forgot to send the attachment, but I have your notification letter for sure. Please check again, because it's quite weird that you didn't receive that, because in that letter you have the scoring of your project and everything. So that's
maybe
strange.
just double check, and if not, write to us to check with Ivana, because it was not us to
exactly send an email and do not worry that if you didn't receive that, you will receive it now, because I have access to the letter.
We have it. We have it.
Yeah.
Yes. That's good. We have checked this
exactly.
as well. Very important.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Lea.
And maybe just to add, Lucia, taking the comment from Rui, indeed, if anybody else has some kind of doubts on the safeguards part, because from our end we do access a dashboard that is like from a new proposal, so we don't know what you are seeing. So maybe this could be, for instance, the result of the answers to the previous questionnaire in the concept note phase, and maybe they want to get some more specifications. So if it's the case for anybody else, let us know, because we cannot see your own dashboard, and we can check with the UCN.
Océano, that I know it's Cristina. I know her, that's why I know it's Cristina. You change the contact email. The contact email, yes, but you cannot change the username and credentials of your platform credentials, okay? You cannot change that, but yes, your contact information, for sure, you can update them in the, if the platform allows that. I think it does. No problem for changing the contact. Welcome. Any other questions? Cristina, I think you have one, no?
Yes,
if any of you do not speak fluent English and prefer to make the question in Spanish or Portuñol, do it and we will answer it in English, okay? And I will translate. If Cristina, if you are more comfortable with that, it's okay. I can translate.
Thank you very much. ¿Podríamos actualizar el calendario porque se ha retrasado la fecha de inicio de los proyectos? ¿Podríamos ahora decir que empezamos en abril, puesto que va a ser cuando van a resolver?
Okay, I think everyone understands, but she's asking if you can modify the calendar you put in the concept note phase, and yes, you can. You can also change the beginning of your project, as it already happened in the last call. Some projects after the grant agreement signature needed to change because the weather was changing or the timeline was changing. So the answer is yes, you can update your calendar. Okay, no problem with that.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Just remember, as also UCN said 2 weeks ago, maximum 36 months, including potential extensions. So if you are requesting 36 months, no more extension will be allowed. And don't worry that if maybe the evaluation it gets a little bit, or the contract signature, because sometimes they need to also to check financial parts like the simplified cost option and so on. You can really renegotiate a bit the start of the project at that time.
Yeah, between your project approval and the grant agreement signature, you can also negotiate, because the administrative burden can delay the original date that you have in mind. For example, last year we had the case, they were going to begin a project in October, but the grant signature happened in November. So they delayed the beginning of the project until January the next year. Yes. Something else? Okay. We really hope that the presentation was clear. Of course, by the end of the webinar, we will download the recording and we will upload everything. Normally, Bea, correct me if I'm not mistaken, it will be uploaded in YouTube or not?
Yes, we can upload it.
Yeah, I think it will be a link to YouTube, and we will send you both the recording of the webinar and the full presentation. Okay, and again, Bea wrote again the email, but you also have it. You have my email. You have the BESTLIFE2030 email. We are really a frequent answer people. So we normally don't take more than 24 hours or 48 to answer your email. So, of course, let us know.